And we're live. What's up, guys? One and only DJ Amax. Thank you. Thank you for viewing. First and foremost, subscribing, and all the support that's been shown. I appreciate that. So, this is episode one of a series of videos I'll be doing. What I'm going to be doing is giving you realistic information and a look at different jobs, gigs that I've done, side hustles. Some of you may already be doing these things, or you may be thinking about doing it to make extra income. So what I'm going to be doing for my channel, I'm not going to come on here like, hey guys, and, all super excited and, like a lot of fake YouTubers. I'm going to give you some real information and have a real connection with the audience and, provide information that'll make things more successful for you, more profitable, better peace of mind. Success is peace of mind as well, and enlightenment, and things more important than money. So anyways, episode one, I'm going to be talking about food delivery services. This is a hot market right now, and since it started, it's only grown, across USA, across the world. I mean, food delivery service is now, international. There's countries there's American companies that are in other countries as well. We're going to touch on that as well. But what I'm going to do is mainly, I'd say 80% is going to be discussing what it's like to be a delivery driver, a food delivery driver, contractor. You're basically self-employed. So, I'm going to talk about that as well when it comes to taxes and, the breakdown of that also. And this episode, this discussion, there's a lot to it. So, I may split it up into several episodes. But with that being said, 80% is going to touch on that. And then I'll do a 20% on what it's like to be on the other side and be the customer, because I have ordered food to my apartment, to my home, or if I was at a venue or a party, ordered food to there and what it's like on that side. But mainly I want to talk about what it's like to be a driver, contractor for these companies, if it's something you're looking at getting into to make extra money to pay your bills with, or if it's something you're already doing, but you're not happy with the company that you're mainly working with on your apps, and you want to see about some others, or there may be ways that you're doing it wrong, or you're not capitalizing with the app software the way that you could if you had the information. So anyways, what I'm going to start with is your biggest three companies, you could say, and I'm coming on here and like I said, this is information for you to prosper with. So what I'm going to do is, there's not going to be a breakdown of every single, exact detail. I'm just going to go off of what I've experienced and things like that. So basically, your big three that I've contracted with are going to be, number one is DoorDash. I don't know if it's the number one company. I mean, stuff online can say one thing then another, how that is. So, but, in no particular order, you have DoorDash, you have Uber Eats, and you have Postmates. So I guess I would just, say one thing first about Uber. So Uber is the only one out of those three, and these are your largest. So just be aware there's smaller local companies. There's other companies that are up and coming. This is all still relatively new. You know, it's been going on for years, but I mean, on the big picture of things, this is all relatively new, right? So, uh, as far as other companies, there's others out there, but these are the ones I'm going to talk about, and the ones that most people are probably doing, and most importantly, most restaurants are clients of. So that's important too, you know. But anyways, back to Uber. So Uber is the only one of these that is a dual setup. So you have, your transportation companies. You have Uber and you have Lyft. Okay, as far as I know, there's no Lyft Eats. Lyft is not in the food game, as far as I know, as of yet. I'm sure they're working on it, you know. But Uber Eats, out of these three I named, DoorDash, Uber, and Postmates, Uber Eats is the only one that you can switch back and forth. So if you know, want to transport people, let's say the food delivery time is down. Let's say it's 1, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, 3 p.m., like slow times, Uh, with Uber, you can switch over and transport people. You're tired of transporting people, you know, they're in your back seat on the phone talking about nothing, nothing important, it's annoying sometimes. Jump over and deliver food. So I can say that's one advantage to Uber Eats. And Uber Eats as well, I feel like is very uh, popular, of course, because they started. Uber dominates as far as transportation. I guess they were the first company to really blow up as far as transporting people. And then Lyft came afterwards. So Uber's a name that everyone knows the name Uber. So naturally, Uber Eats, right? So with that being said, an advantage to Uber Eats is that, as well as most restaurants are using Uber Eats. You know, I can say a good amount of them are. So, in my experience with Uber, definitely transporting people pays more in general from my from what I've seen in my experience. And Uber Eats can be good as well. Uh, that being said, they do sometimes have they have so many restaurants, so you really have to check and see which restaurants are going to be more profitable. But we're going to get into that. Okay. Second company I'm going to touch on is DoorDash, and I can say DoorDash is the company that I okay, and there's several reasons why, but DoorDash for me personally is number one, and it has to do with several things. So if I go in here now, and by the way, I'm in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, southeast part of USA. Um, so depending on where you're at, that can be. But anyways, I was just telling you that because here's the map, of DoorDash. So you open it up, and it gives you a grid of, everything. You can see right now, like, where it's busy, and and just see what's going on. But the thing with DoorDash is that I like is just their software and the way that everything is everything's laid out pretty nice, you know. So that's one thing I like about DoorDash compared to the other apps, So I give DoorDash a slight edge over Uber Eats as far as usability, and I feel like uh, more high end and more nicer restaurants are using DoorDash more than Uber Eats. That's, at least here, that's the feeling that I get. Um, but it just depends on your preference as well. The other company I mentioned is Postmates. So Postmates to me is, out of these three, is going to be the worst one. By the way their app is set up, and for what they pay. So with these food delivery services, you're depending on number one, tips. Okay, tips are the biggest moneymaker for you in this business. Tips, tips, tips. Right? Tips are your biggest money maker in this business. Now, the company pays you for the distance you've driven, you know, but main thing is tips. And the bigger the order, or the more money the customer spent on the food, the bigger your tip is going to be, because it lays it out there for them. 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%. Customize. The customer can customize the tip, you know? But at the end of the day, the tips are the biggest moneymaker for these apps, right? So you get paid for distance, but it's never going to be a lot of money. And that's the reality of it. These companies are not paying a lot for distance. They don't comp your gas. They don't have cars you can drive, that are theirs. So you have to rely on tips. So with that being said, that's another thing that you want to look at. So let's get into the ways that you can really profit for this. And I'm going to end this video right now. And on episode number 2 of Food Delivery Services with DJ Amax, giving you the real truths about it, I'm going to get into the ways that you can really profit and make money with these companies. All right, until then, I'm going to see you next time. I do want to shout out my 2 sponsors that are going to be sponsoring these series of videos. I will have their information in the description box as well. The first sponsor is Crunchyroll. What is Crunchyroll? Well, check it out. Crunchyroll.com. Japanese animation. Awesome. I'm a big fan of anime, all the way back to the original Akira, Fist of the North Star, Ranma 1.5, back in the 90s. It was when I got into it, mid to late 90s, right? Never stopped watching it. I'm still a fan, So if you like animation, Crunchyroll.com is basically the best. So you can go there and you can do a 2-week free trial and see how you like it. And with that being said, Crunchyroll.com has a variety of animation and fresh videos coming constantly, and movies too. So, if you just want to watch a movie, or you want to dive into a classic anime film that you used to like when you were younger, or, whatever. Or if you're new to anime and you like animation, give it a try. Check it out, because the Japanese